Good morning, and welcome to the Length of Service Awards Program, a committee meeting for Thursday, March 25th. We were due to begin at 11:45. We apologize for our late start today, so we will open the meeting at 12:30 today. So we'll go ahead and get started with our agenda. All members of the plan are present today. Can we start with 2 roll call 2A agenda? Take a look at the agenda and wait for motion to approve, please.
I'll move to approve the agenda for the LoSAP March 25th, 2021 meeting.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 2B is the meeting minutes for February 26th. If you take a minute to review those, we'll entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the February 26th, 2021 meeting.
We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 3 is committee reports to review and revise dates for the 2021 meetings. Ms. Jody Kwasny, turn over the plan administrative report to you.
Thank you, Dr. Bridget. Yes, the future meeting calendar for 2021, we would like the revised dates to be June 4th, August 27th, and December 3rd.
So we're canceling the April 22nd meeting?
We are removing the April 22nd meeting.
Okay.
And so the only question I have is every month we're late for LoSAP by 30 minutes or more. And so is there a consideration to rechange the time? The dates are fine, but you know, the public, of course, we were on Channel 95, and so we do advertise the times, and folks do have the availability. And perhaps we think it was a 1 or 2 time deal, but I just want us to have the ability as board members to ask our questions and answers freely, and also to have it accessible to the public on a fair basis.
Sure. So I think our current time meetings are like, what, 9:30 to 10:30 for OPEB, and then we start at 10:30 for the LoSAP. Perhaps we can change it to ending at 11, just adding a half hour for OPEB.
I say either that or OPEB's got so much more involved than LoSAP.
Right.
Swap the two, do LoSAP first.
So it has more time.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, because then we're on time.
Yeah. LoSAP, do we ever run over, Michelle? That's a great idea.
great
So are folks comfortable with that shift in schedule? And so, Jody, if you can notify Diane, because that goes out in our public for change of the meeting as well.
Okay, will do.
Minutes. That's a great idea. Good. Thank you very much. Do we have a motion to approve the plan administrator's report?
I'll make a motion.
As amended?
As amended.
Great. Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Great, thank you very much. Anything else for today's LoSAP meeting? Hearing none, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Only discussion I'd like to say is, we're at a point now where we're talking about doing some shifting in funding LoSAP. The commissioners have been talking about that, where we'll take it from the general fund or whether we take it, maybe it's not now, but at some point in time, I'd like this board to make a recommendation to the commissioners that we take some of this excess money that's coming in, this $22 million, and put it towards LoSAP so it can be a little bit healthier, because we're talking about potentially setting up a whole new branch of county government called EMS. And we're talking, look, we're talking about, most of these people know, but I'm still having a hard time with it, of actually hiring maybe 100 people this year, increasing government by almost 15%. And that really scares me. And so my point is if we're going to, this LoSAP thing is something we have to be dedicated to. And I believe to have this incoming money come in would be an ideal place to park it would be LoSAP. So if you agree, you agree. If you don't agree, that's fine too.
Will EMS have, they would be under a whole different plan then, because they're not volunteers, obviously. I mean, if you,
Well, they're coming in as paid, yes.
yeah, so that,
County employees.
they would be county employees.
Right.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That
of
changes
people.
a lot of things.
It potentially, I mean, I believe it could. I mean, payroll could go up 8-9 million a year, you know, along with, I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I've been wrong all week long, so maybe I'm not correct. But I just see these numbers and I do my factoring. and
Huge growth in county government. Absolutely.
Huge growth in county government, but also a huge projected revenue growth in income taxes. And again, I'm not trying to say disagree with it. Look, you're the expert. You've been doing it longer than I have. But I just don't, I just hope it's real. I just hope this is, you know, this growth continues. But I just believe we need to make sure LoSAP is well-funded enough.
Right.
I mean, I'd like to see 5 million go into it. If we're going to get 22, before we, go ahead.
I seem to recall, Commissioner Hewitt, and I don't know, Jeanette, if you remember, I think it was the MACO announcement about the grant funding, that one exclusion is
Was
pension.
pension
Oh,
funds.
is it really?
And I don't know if this would be considered pension. My
Maybe
guess
I
is it
haven't
would
seen-
be.
Okay, well, again, we got to keep
Right.
within the rules.
Right. And we certainly have to wait till we know them.
Right.
Right.
I mean, when you hire
We're getting a
people,
little bit information each day, but
Right.
that was one of the exclusions.
it was.
That's what I thought, yeah.
Well, I thought you couldn't use it for, okay, I don't know. If that's the case, that's the case. I'm sorry, I got in the way of your motion and you're late.
No, I was just sensitive to the future meeting calendar, because if we omit the April meeting, the next meeting will come together is June. So if you'd like us to make a motion or anything today, I think we sent a letter last year asking for any additional funding to LoSAP be available. You know, so I think we can certainly entertain that. Otherwise, I'm afraid if you wait till June, we'll miss that
It'll be after
opportunity.
the
late.
budget approval.
Well, the reconciliation, I think, is May 18th and whatever, 11th and
May
18th.
11th. Yes, sir.
You have a motion and a second already on the table, but
I do, and so, but this is an adjourn. So if you'd like us to do that, take that, then we should probably withdraw that.
you just, I mean, my sense is yes, but it takes, you know, you guys have to,
Right, I agree. So are folks comfortable to withdraw the adjournment motion?
Yes.
Okay, on both sides. And then would you like to make a motion?
I would make a motion that we request the commissioners to fund OSAP $5 million out of the fund balance, because there's no strings attached to that.
Right.
Because we're using a lot of this grant fund, or this 22 million to
Right.
fund
Other ways,
other
right.
things. So,
Right.
and we have, I think, just to get to our 15%, which is our max, our minimum threshold, we still have about $6 million.
Right.
$5,994,000.
Yes.
I did read that.
You got it.
I know. I read your stuff. I do
know
read
you
it. I
do.
don't understand it, but I do read it.
Thank you.
Do we
Anyway,
have-
that's a motion.
Yeah, do we have a second?
I have a question. Will the possible change in EMS affect LoSAP in what way?
Well, the increase in the Emergency Services Billing Fund are county employees, so their pension will be part of the state pension.
So theoretically, that would lessen volunteers coming in.
It could be, because we'll have less volunteers probably
Well,
going
it's what we're
forward.
worried about.
That's what-
I mean,
no.
I'm not sure what your sense of volunteers are with the EMS and fire, but all these installations I go to, I mean, these people are passionate.
Right.
And it goes through, you know, family lines. And we're talking about doing away with them and putting in.
Completely?
Not completely,
Well,
no.
I mean, we're going that direction.
We're starting.
We had one the other day that talked to going to full EMS paid county, 365, you know, 24/7, 365. And that was that like 5 million for, I mean, it was a big number.
Right.
And now we're kind of like, okay, maybe we'll go into this, have them during the day and do volunteers at night. But you know, how are you going to feel if you're a volunteer and you're riding in an ambulance with someone who's getting paid? And then the other thing is, when we open these positions, people who are in volunteer positions now
probably
will
jump.
go into the paid positions. I'm really worried about it, to tell you the truth. I'm worried it's going to impact
Something
our
to watch.
volunteer morale, our volunteer force. And so, but again, you're getting it from one guy. You can talk to some of these other commissioners, especially the younger ones, and they're saying, hey, look, this has got to, well, again, I won't talk for them. But my point is I think we're going to have fidelity to being able to pay these LoSAP people. And if anything, it's liable to go up, like where people, where, you know, they got to get 50 points. There's potential they get their 50 and quit, because you can get one for going to a meeting. You know, why should I go if I can get my 50 and still get my LoSAP? But you got people get over 100, you know, they get all, because they go all the time. They love the place. They go all the time. So if that goes away and people don't show up because either A, they just want the tax benefit. Look, we're getting way behind your schedule. I apologize, because I know you get your SORP now, right?
At 1 o'clock is our next meeting. We have time.
All right.
We get
But
through the
still,
system.
I say, Marianne, I think what the issue is for me personally is what's the balance to be struck here? You know, if you're in a ambulance with 2 people getting paid and 2 people not, or whatever, you know, what's
Well, I'm not making any comment on whether it happens or doesn't happen. My question is just about the funding of LoSAP. Would that be impacted at all if this other thing happens?
But may
That's
go
my
back to
question.
these actuarial guys, because remember the number was
Right.
17 million, and then
Right.
it went up a little, 21 million, something like that. We're sitting at just around 6 million. And the thing is if the obligation goes up, i.e. the number of people taking LoSAP, then it would seem that we have to raise up the amount we have in the trust.
But aren't you saying the opposite?
I'm saying the opposite.
I know.
If we have
Okay.
less volunteers, we'll need less money in LoSAP.
The next actuarial is completed, it may show that it may either stay flat or go down because of the volunteers change.
Okay.
But I think what
Then
you
our
got.
pension will go up. I mean, it'll just, depending on where.
But I think what you got to keep in mind is the benefit of being in LoSAP. You know, you get that $6,000 off your Maryland state taxes.
Sure.
You know, that means something to somebody who's also just happened, you know, I mean, my wife's going to be there 5 o'clock tonight making whatever she's making for the shrimp thing this weekend. And it's not, I mean, I'm starting to see it personally.
Yeah.
But what I'm also seeing is the fervor, the volunteerism, the spirit, the passion that these people have. And I'm worried that if we bring in paid, or career is what we call them, that we end up, now, your question, does it become few of them? My sense is if they've been doing it and they've been getting this tax benefit, they may just try to get their minimum, and that's it. And then, I don't know, I could be wrong.
Would you entertain a friendly amendment to the motion up to 5 million?
Sure.
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you for the discussion. For adjourn. May we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.